let's take a look at the other match that's coming out of the East region. It's going to be Washington Spirit versus New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. Maybe we should have put this one in as part of our matches to watch this weekend. When we're looking at both of these sides, Washington Spirit, one of those teams coming out of week one with a draw, but a scoreless draw, right, against Orlando Pride, going up against New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, the only team to both fail to pick up a result and connect on goal and walk away at least with a goal. So both teams going head to head here, trying to get some points, trying to build on some maybe lackluster week one performances. Lisa, who are you looking at this one and why?
Yeah, this is a matchup that we didn't pick it as match of the weekend because it's either going to be really competitive and really good, or we're going to see baby steps being made by both of these squads. Frankly, I mean, that's it. It could either, and you will be able to tell in the first 15, 20 minutes of this match if you're going to want to stick around for the whole thing or you're going to check out and come watch the highlights later on Attacking Third. Because what we didn't see from both of these sides last weekend was cohesive passing. What they did so well last year with the same personnel, they could not translate onto the pitch this season so far in the Challenge Cup in that first matchup. Throughout last weekend, Washington Spirit have the second best passing accuracy in the Challenge Cup with 81.9% success in their passing. So the possession we saw from Washington Spirit was really good, but their cohesiveness up front with Hatch, Sanchez, Rodman, McKeown, not there. It wasn't there. And I want to see if that's what they've worked on. In the preseason, Chris Ward said that they worked a lot on defense and hard into tackles and breaking up defensive plays. I hope that over the last 5 days of training, Washington Spirit worked on passing patterns in the attacking third, making that final pass, getting shots off, quick release pass and shot, because that's what I want to see more of from their front line. And then looking at a team like Gotham, who lost 2-0 to a team in North Carolina, I'm hoping for more from Gotham through this weekend. Because of that and kind of what we saw from Gotham and what we saw from Washington, I'm taking Washington in this one. I think that the younger players in Sanchez, Rodman, McKeown, Hatch, they will be able to kickstart something a little bit more than New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC can do throughout this one.
I'm with you on that pick. I think this is the one we're going 2 for 2 here. I'm also going with Washington Spirit for some of the reasons that you've already mentioned, but maybe putting some numbers behind them a little bit and maybe going with a little bit of the energy that we took with taking a look at Houston Dash. I think Washington is upset walking out of, or against Orlando with a 0-0 draw. Like, sure, it's a result, but not being able to get on the board and taking a look at the numbers coming out of this game. We're talking Ashley Hatch, Ashley Sanchez, Trinity Rodman, Tara McKeown combining for 4 shots on goal. That is an attacking core that I'm sure is not happy with those numbers, their lack of production in that game. And I feel like in this one, they're going to want to absolutely build on what they were doing, or what the lack of what they were getting accomplished last week. Now, again, we're going live with everyone and hanging out with everybody during their lunch break or post lunch break or pre-lunch break, whatever it is. But we're getting our reactions on this live again prior to having an injury report available or anything like that. So it still remains to be seen if Gotham is going to have some pieces that were missing from their week one, right? We noticed that they struggled a little bit in that middle third, and maybe they really could use somebody like a Christy Mewis involved in the mix there. So we'll see what Gotham looks like in that starting lineup, and that might maybe alter our initial picks a little bit, right? We'll see. But I just think that for Washington Spirit, they've got more there to build off of from their week one performance versus Gotham. There were a lot of stretches of time in their opening match against Carolina Courage where they just sort of looked like they never found their way into the game, which I think is, yes, it could be chalked up to week one energy and week one, tactics like that. It's the first game of the year. And so maybe there will be a different look or a different energy coming into this week. But I just think that there's more there for the Spirit. I just think that their attacking core is going to eventually convert and produce some goals for this Spirit side. And that's going to contribute to the win overall in this one. So I'm going Spirit with you in the East on this one, Lisa. We got one last one to close out with for our listeners here out of the West. It's OL Reign versus Angel City. Again, we kicked it off with a game coming out of the West, and we're closing it out with a game in the West. It's the West Division is literally up for grabs. Who is going to try and get a hold on it in this one? Do you think we're going to get a winner out of this one, Lisa? Who are you choosing and why? And or if it's a draw, why are you choosing a draw?
I'm picking a winner. OL Reign. They are going to win this one. I'm going to state that up front. Both of these sides scored points last weekend. They both had goals last weekend and walking away with 1 point each on those ties that they had. But what we saw from OL Reign against Portland Thorns, they controlled the midfield. They had really good patience in their passing abilities. They had good off-ball movement to create those open lanes, to have those really good balls played through to the front line. The cohesiveness from OL Reign is really good. I think Laura Harvey does a nice job scouting as well. And she could watch Angel City last week against San Diego. And of course, Kristen Press is a player you're circling on Angel City as a defensive team to say, we need to keep an eye on her. We need to watch her. Yeah. And I think OL Reign can do that. I think that the only tricky part will be is if Kristen Press can create space for herself, which she can always create space for herself, and then get good shots off. I think that the goalkeeper battle between Tullis Joyce and Press, that'll be an interesting one because I think Press can whip it past Tullis Joyce. So OL Reign is up for a really, really tall task to not give her any space. But I do think that OL Reign is going to win this one, even if both sides score. I'm going to predict both sides do get a goal, but that OL Reign comes out on top. I'm interested to see if Angel City head coach Freya Coombe will rotate more. She only put one sub in last week against San Diego, and that could be for a million different reasons. And I think one of them being she wanted to win that game and she wanted to keep her strongest group out there. But this is a chance in this Challenge Cup for Freya Coombe to get players that come off the bench game minutes, especially against a team like OL Reign. So I'm hoping to see more rotation from Angel City, a few more subs coming in off the bench. I'm not talking a full 5, but 2, 3, just get different players some minutes, like more than one player sub coming in. But that's really what I'm looking at. I'm hoping that Freya Coombe looks at this game and says, okay, what can we do? Let's try different players and let's get rotation in there and try to get on the board, still lean on Press in the attacking end. But I'm going to go both teams score. OL Reign comes out on top 2-1, 3-1. I'm not entirely sure, but both teams on the board. What about you, Sandra? Angel City,
I like that.
OL Reign. What are you thinking?
I like it. Look, this is the match that is going to be on people's radar. Again, I think the both games that are coming out of the West Division, people are going to be paying a close eye to. But listen, I chose them to do big things in 2022, and I'm not going to stop. I'm also going with OL Reign in this one. Okay, so we're closing it out with 2 similar picks, right?
Yeah,
I'm also going. That's okay. That we'll find out real early this year if we're jinxes or not. But I'm also going with OL Reign to pick up the win. And again, I'm looking at the middle third because of the argument here. We're talking about the games that took place during match week 1 and some of the energy that was coming out against between the two California sides. And yes, there was a historic goal that was scored by Savannah McCaskill, and we saw very, very early on the chemistry that is starting to show itself between a player like McCaskill and somebody like Press, who is just capable of trying to create her own shot wherever on the pitch just to make things interesting, right? So I think because of that, yes, we can definitely see some goals in this one, but it will end up going towards one way. And I'm looking at that middle third. I just think that the midfield company that is established at OL Reign is better, quite frankly, than what is at Angel City at the moment. I just think this combination of, depending on what Laura Harvey decides to roll out with, whether it's Quinn or Fishlock or Lavelle or Angelina, et cetera, right, is going to just be greater than the sum of their parts in Recaro or McCaskill come kickoff and match day, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, I think, to sort of see which team is going to be giving what to who. But I just think that OL Reign is going to be coming out on top in this one and pick up their first win of the Challenge Cup. So that's what I'm going with as well.
I do too. So we we're the same on 2 of our picks this weekend, but if we're correct in these, that means OL Reign is going to come out on top in the West Division. We'll see that, because that's the thing right now. Only North Carolina and Chicago have wins in the Challenge Cup, 3 points walking away. They're at the top of the table. I'm excited to see how everything shakes out, goals that happens, if we get some healthy players back into the mix for all sides. I know Gotham was missing a lot. So that's what I'm looking for as well. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Challenge Cup, week 2. Let's go. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us.